Welcome back to sunny St. Petersburg, Florida. An absolutely gorgeous day here and an exciting day of qualifying. Eventful. There was a practice session as well as qualifying today, and a familiar name to folks over on the European side of things. I think there's going to be a lot of pleased people tonight with the result, and going into a lot of excited people likely going into tomorrow's IndyCar Grand Prix here at St. Petersburg. 20 years. 2003 was the first time they've run here, the IndyCars on St. Petersburg, and 2023 is shaping up to be an exciting one. We'll also be talking tires, and we'll be talking to Indy 500 winner Marcus Ericsson later in this video. But first, let's take a look at the starting grid, a 27-car entry list as good as we've seen in quite a few years. And throwing it back to 2005 in some ways, it's an Andretti Autosport sweep of the front row. Romain Grosjean is on the pole position in the DHL Honda alongside of Colton Herta. Pato Award is the fastest of the Aero McLaren cars, alongside Indy 500 champion Marcus Ericsson. Row number 3 sees Kyle Kirkwood in his first run in IndyCars for Andretti Autosport and the defending winner Scott McLaughlin. Row number 4 is Alex Palou, the most recent winner on the IndyCar Championship Trail, and Felix Rosenqvist returning to Aero McLaren. Scott Dixon was fast in practice earlier today, and Will Power is the IndyCar champion. Christian Lundgaard is in the Hy-Vee colors this year, and Alexander Rossi has new colors as well for Aero McLaren, a new change for him. Marcus Armstrong is an exciting rookie alongside of Joseph Newgarden, who's looking to get off to a good start this season. Elio Castroneves is the longest tenured driver in the series, and David Malukas is one of the shortest tenured drivers, but both have a chance tomorrow. Santino Ferrucci now drives for AJ Foyt. Devlin DeFrancesco drives for Andretti Autosport and cannot be counted out. Jack Harvey and Graham Rahal are on row 10, driving, of course, for Rahal, Letterman, Lanigan. And it's another sweep in the next row. Augustine Canapino from Argentinian Touring Cars alongside his teammate Callum Ilott. Stingray Robb, one of the best names in racing, rolls off for Dale Coyne Racing alongside of Rinus VeeKay. Quite a disappointment for him. Ditto for Simon Pagenaud in 25th. Got his time erased by crashing next to Connor Daly. And rounding out the field is Benjamin Peterson for AJ Foyt Racing. So, like I promised, here's an interview on the road with Indy 500 champion and my pick for the championship, Marcus Ericsson. All right, Marcus, the people were absolutely, I mean, you've got some great fans here. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, it's got great support from the Swedish people. They're flying out to support me. They were here last year and making a lot of noise, and they seem to be here in force even stronger this year, so that means a lot. And I think that's the last tenth or two, in qualifying was from the fans cheering me on.
So a lot of talking points in qualifying, the track surface, the tires, the brakes. I mean, what was your experience out there with those?
Yeah, it is tricky out there. I think the new surface there in turn 3 has caught some people out, and it is tricky conditions. But I think the Ganassi team has done a great job in the off-season to improve our car, especially over one lap. We've been focusing on that, and I think that showed today. To be honest, all weekend we've been pretty competitive. So it was just nice for me personally. We've been talking the last few years. I need to qualify better, get that average up, because on race day we are as strong as anyone, or even stronger. So we can continue qualifying the Fast 6, we're going to be a threat, that's no doubt about that.
I picked you for the championship, so you better prove me right, okay?
I heard some rumors about that, so I have some work to do, but I can do it.
Waiuli. Get used to saying that throughout the 2023 IndyCar campaign. It will be used, the Waiuli sidewalled tires, which we saw at the pit stop competition and the Nashville race last year, will be used on all of the street courses. I talked about that and much more to do with Firestone with head race tire engineer Kara Kristalik. So this is the official look for the Firestone alternate tire on the street courses this year. And to talk to me about it is Kara Kristalik from Firestone. It's so good to see you again. Tell me about these tires, because we saw them make their race debut at your home race in Nashville, but you're running them the entire season on the street circuits. What's different about these tires?
So the only difference that you'll see in the tires, same tread compound, same construction, is the amount of rubber that's in the sidewall. Instead of being 100% Hevea rubber, the Hevea tree that grows in Southeast Asia, we're going to see rubber from the Waiuli plant, and this is a domestic plant, and we found it in Mesa, Arizona for these tires.
So you mentioned Mesa, Arizona. It's one of the interesting and cool things I think about the Waiuli tire is the fact that there's a real human interest side of it, sustainability and American made. Can you talk a little bit about that side of this tire?
Yeah, certainly. We've spent about 12 years. 2012 was the first year we actually started investing into the Waiuli program. Over the years, we put about $100 million of investment into growing this crop, making sure that it could yield a lot of rubber. The really great thing about this crop is it can grow in some climates that are really tough on other crops. So you have some farmers with some land that's getting drier, it's getting more arid, hard to water. This actually will take about 50% of the water that alfalfa or cotton would grow. So it's great for some of the people that are in that area to be able to run this crop, and it's a good business case for us too.
One of the most exciting things for me about what you guys are pursuing project-wise is going to be the alternate tires at Gateway. That's been a race that we've seen, not a lot of passing in, and we've seen on the street courses with your products that we have seen that passing. But it's going to be a challenge too, because it's been a while since we've seen alternate tires be an option on an oval track. What are you expecting to be those challenges, and how is Firestone going to approach it?
Well, this is really exciting. IndyCar came to us a couple years ago and said, hey, is there anything you can do with the tires to make the Gateway race more exciting? The geometry of the track makes it very hard to pass, so we looked at our tires. You don't want to have a tire that drops off much more than what we already have. If you have too soft of a tire, you can start having vibration concerns and other things. So we were challenged to come up with a unique solution. So our engineers back at Akron had the crazy idea of what if we brought two different specifications to the track. Way back in the day, we had option tires. So now these are alternate tires. They're our new tires, and they're all within the range of what we've run at Gateway before. So something on the most durable side and then something on the softer side. The goal is not to have a huge car balance, because obviously teams are not going to be able to come in and change their setups from one race stop to the next.
I think it's going to be a great storyline to follow. Another great storyline of this weekend is the fact that Firestone is re-upped with this event. Your commitment to this event has been fantastic. As you can see, it's great to see so many people out here on a Saturday, and the Friday crowd I think was even better. How important is St. Petersburg to Firestone?
We love St. Pete, and the fact that it's the race season opener is really great. Being able to go through 2025 now, and hopefully we'll extend even beyond that. So very exciting for us.
And the final thing is it's great as well that you have recommitted yourselves to the NXT or Indy Next series. A return for you guys. There's a couple of interesting things to think about there. Not only is the fact that you guys are back, but I'm curious about the effect that now having more Firestone rubber on the track will yield for the big cars.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So when the cars went out for qualifying, they were going on Firestone rubber as opposed to being on a competitor rubber. Rubber families play well with each other, but if you go from one drastic compound to a different compound, it's going to be slippery and slidey. So this is going to be something that's super helpful for the race teams. So you'll have good input on the IndyCar side, but then you have these young drivers that are getting used to Firestone, how the Firestone tires work. Working with our team, they get the data from us, and we've already got some really good feedback on that relationship.
A lot of positivity here in the rubber camp. Thank you, Kara. So it's an exciting day in store tomorrow. 27 cars is more than this event has ever seen. So that's going to mean that traffic is going to be quite a factor. But it also means there are a lot of cars, drivers, and teams that can factor in to win this race. Romain Grosjean, we know, is hungry, and he's hungry, I'm sure, to prove me and Kyle wrong from the podcast, saying that he would likely have a bad season. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to stick with my original thoughts as we kind of started to develop this weekend. I think that Kyle Kirkwood may be one of the guys to beat. I don't know if he's going to win the race, and I know he had a big crash earlier today, but he just feels like the kind of guy, St. Pete traditionally, we see guys kind of have a coming out party. We saw it with Scott McLaughlin. We've seen it with Felix Rosenqvist. We saw it with Robert Wickens at times. I'm feeling Kirkwood. I still think Rosenqvist, like I said, he's been fast here before. I think he can be fast here again, and I think he's motivated to prove that he belongs in this series. And of course, you can never count out guys like Colton Herta, Scott Dixon, Scott McLaughlin, and of course, Joseph Newgarden could be making an effort on strategy, because we know Tim Cindric on the box can never be counted out. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and be sure to enjoy the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. You guys know we'll have the best post-race coverage on the channel as the two-seaters roll by. Couldn't have timed that more perfectly. Wait for the V8s. Yeah, baby! Woo! I'm excited. Can you tell I'm excited? Those sound great. It's amazing how much better engines sound when they have just 2 more cylinders. But thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.